I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a detailed look at the EVERGOODS Civic Access Pouch 1 liter, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content that helps you travel smarter. Let's dive in. Overall, this pouch has a really solid build quality. So this is a 420D nylon shell. On the inside is a 210D nylon lining, and both have a PU coating. So I'll bring this a little bit closer so you can get a nice close look at the material. It's still in really good shape over the course of my testing with those 2 weeks. There's, in terms of like the outside with things on it, it's fairly simple. So we have the front here, or I guess the back technically, doesn't really matter. But first we have this handle. This is just kind of like a nylon material. That's great for easy grabs. Fits pretty much the size of your hand. And then we have 2 little loops on either side here. You can either use these to attach gear, like if you want to attach a carabiner to this, or it acts as just kind of another grab handle. So if you have this in the like pocket of your backpack or something like that, you can just kind of loop your finger through and pull it out. So that works really well. And then on the front or back side, kind of again, same thing, we have a patch. So you can either like add your own patch here or add their like high vis patch, kind of up to you, or you can just leave it. It's very sleek, kind of out of the way there, and just nice and simple. So on the other side here, we have the magnets. So this is what, the closure is fairly simple. So there's a bunch of like different, or a bunch of little magnets all kind of like lined up next to each other in here. And so what that does is it gives you a little bit of like variety in how you can align them. So you can either, instead of like them snapping into place and just kind of sitting there, you can snap them into place and leave a little bit of room if this is a lot bigger, or you can really cinch it tight and just like really lock in the fit there. So it has a little bit of variation depending on how much gear you have packed in here. But I really love the kind of like beefiness of these magnets. You can kind of hear them snap together, and it sounds very solid, and it feels very solid too. So even with all my gear here, like kind of just like shaking it, it's not going anywhere. So it is very secure. So this is the 1 liter version of this pouch, and there is a 2 liter version, which I have right here. These are roughly the same length. And so they fit very nicely, slot together kind of like that. And then we have kind of a difference in width here. So with the 1 liter, this is able to compress down. With the 2 liter, this is sort of the boxy shape that you get no matter what. So you do have a little bit of variety with this 1 liter if that's something you like. If you like a little bit more structure, definitely the 2 liter. If you want to see more about this, we do have a full review on that. If you want to check that out on our channel or on our website, to get a little bit more information about that, but I'm just going to tuck that away. And then this also fits within their other backpacks. So right here, I have the Civic half zip. And this is gonna go right in this side water bottle pocket here. So it fits in nice and snug, feels very secure. And then like you can't get to that top carry handle, but you can get to this loop. So this is, how that gets pulled out like that. Nice and easy to grip onto. And so, very thoughtful to have this added into, all of the other EVERGOODS gear. So opening this up, you can see that it just opens in like this butterfly shape. In the very center, you have a pen loop here. This is nice and easy. Feels really secure and very slick and smooth. It kind of acts as a base too, when you have your pen in there, it ends up falling at the very bottom. So it gives it a little bit of, it kind of stays out of the way. It doesn't get in the way of any of the gear on the inside, but I'm gonna take that out. And then you can see this little patch here with more information about the actual pouch itself, which is great. And then these zippers, once the pouches are closed, they fall on opposite ends. So when you close the pouch, they don't clash or anything like that. So very thoughtful design with the very minimal things going on the inside of the pouch. Another thing is with both of the sides, you can see this sort of like pleated design on all of the corners here, and that sort of is where that expansion folds out into. So as you start to pack out your gear, it's going to get a little bit wider, but as you kind of take all of your gear out of here, it does compress very easily. So I'm just going to kind of walk through each side here. We'll start with this side over here. And so on the inside, you have two different compartments. So you have this divider, this like laminated divider, makes it so that your gear can be separated within each side. So you have the mesh side. So if you wanted to you can put like your phone in here or something like that, and you can see it through. Or if you wanted to keep your gear separate, in the back here, I just have some, wall chargers and some cables. And so that is a good spot for, I kind of like kept things a little bit together. And then on the other side, you have pretty much a similar design. In here, I just have a power bank, and then I have my mouse in one side and then headphones in the other. So what I like about this is that there is a little bit of a divider with that liner, whereas this one is completely open. So this helps keep your gear a little bit more organized if you have smaller items. So that's really great for that as well. And overall, I felt like I had a decent amount of space in here. Like I mentioned, the more you pack this out, the harder, or not the harder it's gonna be, but the more your kind of magnets are gonna be a little bit separated. So I actually have my phone here. And so we can put this in this front pocket to kind of show you what it looks like when it's fully packed out. So that's fairly bulky. And with all of my gear in here, I can still pretty much get that fully closed. But if I wanted to, make it, I don't know, like a little less clashing, I can put that so that the magnets don't fully overlap, but it's still fairly secure. I mean, that one just popped off a little bit, but I never had any issues with them like popping off like that. That never really happened to me when I had this. I felt like it was very secure with all the gear that I had packed out, but I would say for the most part, this is about as much gear as I had in here. And so it was either this or it was a little bit less. And even so, with no matter how much I had in there, it felt like the pouch could kind of handle it, which was really great. So there you have it, the EVERGOODS Civic Access Pouch 1 liter. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.